But the Phoenix Suns released over the weekend, they're going to offer Devin Booker a 2-year, $150 million contract. And immediately, you look at that contract, and that means with 2 years left on his deal right now, Devin Booker's contract will go from $53 million a year next year, $57 million a year the year after, $61 million a year. So I apologize, there's not 2 years left on this deal. With 3 years left on Devin Booker's deal, he's eligible for an extension that will be 2 years, $150 million, breaking it down to about $70+ million a year, somewhere between $70 and $75 million, however the money ends up working out. But that means Booker will have 3 years left at $53 million, $57 million, $61 million, and then $70+ million in his 32, 33-year-old seasons. And immediately, that's where people go into the, should you pay Devin Booker that kind of contract? Because let's call it what it is. Devin Booker is not worth, for just his play alone, $75 million a year. But the caveat to that is, okay, you don't want to give Devin Booker his extension. With 3 years left on his deal, you don't want to give him an extension. My answer to that question would always be, why don't you? Almost no player in the NBA is worth $75 million a year. That kind of money is reserved for the superstars. And superstars, categorized by me, are players that if you have one on your team, you can win a championship. You probably won't, depending on what your roster looks like, but you absolutely can. Those types of guys give you a shot. Devin Booker was knocking on the door of potentially being a superstar in the 2021 NBA Finals. The real superstar of that series won it, and he got admitted into the superstar club. And Devin Booker stayed into that fringe superstar and now has kind of backtracked into the star tier. You know, I was reading a Ringer article the other day, and Devin Booker was ranked, if I'm not mistaken, 19th in the Ringer's top 100 players come the NBA Finals. So this was before the NBA Finals happened, and Booker was ranked 19th, just one spot ahead of Jalen Williams. The Jalen Williams who's currently playing in the finals right now. Aaron, listen, you've already have enough things on us. Please don't tell us Bucks in 6, because we're well aware how much better you guys are than us. But Devin Booker is the 19th ranked player in the NBA, according to The Ringer. So I guess I should rephrase that. The Ringer dropped its updated top 100 players in the NBA, and Devin Booker came in at 19th, behind guys like Karl-Anthony Towns, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and so on and so forth. Booker isn't even near, according to The Ringer, the superstar club, which I give that to the top 5 to 7 players in the NBA. I don't think at a time there's any more than 5 to 7 superstars in the NBA. Once you start to dilute the product, that product then starts to lose meaning. And I am a firm believer in the superstar club, the superstar hierarchy. So if Devin Booker isn't one of those 5 to 8 best players in the NBA, and The Ringer, although I might not agree with this, has Jokic, Shea, Giannis, Luka, Steph, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, and Donovan Mitchell all in the top 8. They don't have Devin Booker anywhere near there, ranked at 19th. So why would you give him $75 million a year? Well, here's why. Because would you rather lose him for nothing? If this season goes horribly for the Phoenix Suns, you know what makes Devin Booker's trade value that much higher? The fact that he'll have 4 years left on his deal and not 2. That's how you get more out of a player's value than less. One of the reasons that's hindering the Phoenix Suns from getting a boatload of picks and players for Kevin Durant is he's got 1 year left on his deal. He's got a lot to say on where he goes because he just won't sign an extension with that team. Now, it doesn't mean the Suns aren't going to get anything, like some fans think that's what's going to happen. But it certainly means he's got some leverage. And Devin Booker, if next year it doesn't work out, you might have to trade him. And if that's the case, and, my guy Julius in the chat, this list is hilarious. Stop with saying Cat is better than Book. Mitchell and Book should be 13. Listen, Julius, I totally agree with you. However, that's not what the list says. I'm just going off what the list says. I think Devin Booker is close to the 15th best player in the league, not 19th. But that's just what the NBA writers are saying, which, fine. Take it with a grain of salt. The point is, if you ever want to trade Devin Booker, if he comes out next season and says, yeah, this last season wasn't it, I want out, what makes him uberly valuable is the fact that he'll have 4 years left on his deal if you extend him this season. Not to mention, let's say you don't extend him and you piss Devin Booker off because you play with his money. There is a sense of you do owe Devin Booker because he's never left you. Because he's been someone who stood through you for thick and thin. There has been no inklings or there's been no leaks this year, this summer, that Devin Booker wants to leave the Phoenix Suns. To some extent, Devin Booker does deserve his money. Not just for his play on the court, but for the fact that he has stuck through you through thick and thin. And also, it goes to the fact where Devin Booker is still going to be a very good player, star-level player, top 15 player in the league for the duration of that contract. He will not fall off a cliff at age 32. And if he does, there'll be 1 year left on his deal. So it's a combination of Devin Booker will be worth most of that contract, and he has earned that contract. If you don't want to pay Devin Booker $75 million a year, I get it. It's kind of disgusting. And I would agree, towards the back end of that contract, it's going to age horribly. But if you want one day to be able to trade Booker and get max value, 4 first-round picks, 3 pick swaps, 3 players, and just a boatload of assets, you need to extend Devin Booker so that other teams, when they get him, don't have to worry about him not wanting to be there and leaving after one season. And understanding his deal is going to be here for a long time. 2 years, $150 million is gross money. There's like 4 players in the NBA that I would say deserve that kind of money. Luka, Giannis. I wouldn't even go as far as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander so far. I know we're all so quick to name players superstars and put them in the superstar club, but guys, come on. Can we let the guy win a championship before we call him a top 4 player? And he might win a championship this year. And if that's the case, yeah, superstar club, welcome in. Especially MVP, superstar club. Like, I get it. He's been awesome in the playoffs the entire time too. But let's make these players earn it, is my point. And so with Devin Booker, he's earned $75 million a year because of what he's been through in Phoenix, and because the Suns need to be able to go to trade negotiations potentially next year and say, we can move off of him, and whoever gets him is going to get 4 years of him minimum. Not to mention the potential of extending him again. Maybe he's awesome. In the 34, 35, 36-year-old seasons, he goes and extends with him even further. But you cannot piss off Devin Booker and not give him the contract. The one thing that could make you lose Devin Booker this season, potentially in a trade, is playing with his money. Because let's be fair, the guy has earned it because of how much he stood through you through thick and thin. That means something. There has to be some form of loyalty back to Devin Booker, especially when over and over and over he's been a good soldier. Not just in the beginning parts of his season when he was going through coach after coach after coach, but at this point where some of it is Devin Booker's fault. He recruited Kevin Durant. He recruited Bradley Beal. He recruited Tyus Jones. He didn't get along with Mike Budenholzer. Some of that is Mike Budenholzer. Some of that is Devin Booker. But at the end of the day, he's never done anything maliciously to ruin the team like I think Matt Ishbia has done or James Jones has done. Booker has tried to give the best to this team year in and year out. So for that reason, he just deserves it.